Okay. Oh, we are live and in the flesh once
Hello,
again
hello, hello.
on this here Thursday, September 29th.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday.
Tail end of September.
Ooh, that was quick.
That was real quick.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Get It Together on Hot 702.5 FM. We are really excited to be here with J9.
And Jesse.
Once again, coming at you. So, we are wrapping up September, and
Yes,
it's
we are.
It's almost disturbing how quickly the time goes.
Your birthday month especially, huh? How quick?
Well, at this point, it's any month.
Yeah, that's true.
Particularly September because it's such a lovely month, but it turned out to be a very hot month, so not sure how I feel about that. But
How'd your birthday month turn out for you? How'd that go?
it was, if I could say the word, unorthodox. It was very
Unorthodox.
non-busy, non-traditional. No birthday cake for the first time probably in my lifetime.
Really? Oh, now I don't know how I feel about getting through a birthday with no cake. I don't care if it's just a little individual cake or a piece of cake. I need some birthday cake. I am sorry I did not know that.
But there were a few other things that I got this birthday that I can't fully complain about.
Okay.
I just feel like this birthday, if I didn't make noise like I normally make noise and rustle everybody, then
It would've
nobody
just
was
been-
really, it would have really fell by the wayside. And so,
That's how they starting to feel now. The 50 plus club is a little different.
well, and it shouldn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Because I guess what happens is you start taking it personal that you're even alive to see a new birthday.
So personal.
It kind of,
Right?
it's not like that youth where you feel like, you're going to live to see every birthday. And so,
Right.
but I usually
Right.
make a little more hoopla than I did. And I wound up spending it, like I said, a little unorthodox, I guess you could say, in that I was a part of a function, you know what I'm saying, that we're actually going to get into because we really
Okay.
appreciate all of our listeners and supporters and everybody who showed up to visit with us this weekend. Oh, yeah, it's probably one of those. So,
You said it's one of those. What you mean?
oh, the foul. So we're just going to have to get real lively in our conversation about our weekend.
Okay.
And we'll have some
No
special
worries.
guests next week, so we will prepare ourselves to show you guys some videos and some winners and some things like that. So with that being said, how was, I won't necessarily say your month because we've been talking weekly,
Pretty
but
regularly.
how was your weekend and your week?
It's pretty good. It's been low key this week ever since, after the Foodie Fest. I actually took a few days just to lay around and regroup and recoup a little bit. So yeah, I'm not too mad at that. Not too mad at that. My September went like a flash. I had so much going on, it wasn't even funny, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Almost felt like rock star status. A little bit as busy as it was
I'm
for
not mad at that.
myself. Yep. And October will be low key, and then it winds back up in November. It's winding back up.
Well, we're not going to have a dirty dining report, so we're
Okay.
just going to have a little fun today.
Okay.
But along the lines of the time and how it's moving pretty fastly, and we're winding down to the end of the year as you just kind of went through. We were talking earlier, and I was talking with my daughter about how it seems as though people at about October 1st, they shut off. So
What you mean?
if you're
Like-
trying to get some things done, if you're trying to go to court, if you're trying to go to DMV, if you're trying to make all these appointments,
Oh, yeah.
staffing is dwindling down. First of all, it's
Hey,
dwindling
Mom.
down in Congress, right? They're going to be going on vacation, and it seems like the businesses follow suit.
I can see that. You know, it was funny though. I will say for the month of September, I gamble here and there. I dabble. But all the casinos took all my comps away in the month of September. I mean, I usually get a lot of comps, and all of them they either dwindled down to like $5 a week, which is like, that ain't even worth me getting out of my car, or none at all, which is very surprising. Very, very surprising. But then all of a sudden for the month of October, all of my comps are back. All of my hotel stays frees are back. Everything just, boop, everything's back. So I don't know if it was because I was gone in Cali for a month, but I don't think that should have impacted my September rewards and stuff like that. But, it is what it is.
It really is what it is with the mind of a gambler.
Lord.
And I'm not mad because, I spend a little time at the casinos myself. You can't be here all these years and not participate in some of the festivities.
Yes, some of the Vegas life. This Vegas life.
And don't let me fully go there, but I do have a couple of jokes about the mind of a gambler. We have a certain mentality that entails...
It's unrealistic. I'm kidding.
No,
but I'm serious.
Ain't no need to be kidding because it's about true. I mean,
shoot. I got something. Girl, look. This has only happened twice in a lifetime. I don't know if y'all can see this. Can y'all see that? I found this in my purse all of a sudden today. It was just in my purse.
Girl, the palms open up just for you.
And it was
because them mugs was closed. You would have never redeemed that bad boy. I mean, they might have led you to.
Well, it was from July 31st of this year. I don't even remember going. Mind of a gambler.
Mind of a gambler. I don't know about y'all, but I have. Hey, Mom, I have found quite a few tickets like that. Matter of fact, I might have a few hanging in my door. Or in my glove compartment.
That is
hilarious. Anyway, we're gonna because I could really go there. When you're in a casino, the mind of a gambler, and you start. He said, "I think I've gambled as 4 times in her life. Vegans don't really gamble. We don't. However, maybe stop playing, girl." Well, what tends to happen is we have these community casinos. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so sometimes you go to get something to eat, and then you're like, I'm going to drop 20, and you wind up dropping a few more. But here's the mind of a gambler. And I'm a native now. 15 years makes me a native
15 years makes you a native. And I'm a transplant 2 years in, so.
But here's the mind of a gambler, Carice. We're going to find a casino anywhere we go. We might even gamble on a cruise, honey. And then we tell ourselves we're not going to do it again, and we do it again. And then we tell ourselves we're not going to go to the ATM. And then we convince ourselves that this machine we're on is very hot. It just needs a little more time. And then we tell ourselves that the machine is going to turn over because there's a time frame in which they loosen up. Oh, yeah, we go.
We have real in-depth conversations with ourselves. Yeah, and I think any true gambler can attest to that. That those conversations be real and intense. What you be telling yourself is, man, that one more time.
Listen, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to get into the meat of the program of today, because we really did have a very good 3 days. But you just have to be careful. Because I remember when I first moved here, there were 2 things that turned me off from gambling. One was I had just gotten paid, and the casinos had this thing where if you cash your check in the casino, there were no fees, and you get to spin a wheel.
Okay.
So, yeah, born and raised. The born and raised know these secrets, honey. So, so we would go and cash our checks at say the stations, like the ones that a couple of them that just shut down, the Texas and the Fiesta. So now you got a wad of cash.
You can't get out the door. Can't get out the door with that wad of cash.
Baby, when I tell you I went through that money like in hours.
Oh,
because what
my
happened was it was
gosh.
on and off, on and off, on and off, win and lose, win and lose. But the casino knew what they was watching.
Right.
First of all, they knew I kept peeling back these 20s.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
It wasn't cute at all. Wasn't cute at all. I left with my feelings hurt. I was like, I don't know what the world is coming to. I don't know what I'll do with myself. And I might need a payday loan.
That is hilarious. But yeah.
Shout out to the gamblers of Las Vegas and any other casinos. Take your time, honey, because it's really not cohesive. But some people make a living on it. You know what I'm saying?
People do make a living on it. They have strategic methods in which they gamble.
I've watched them. Gamblers watch other gamblers.
Yeah, they do.
They watch YouTubes and shit.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. I was on that for a hot second, and then I realized, no, I need to stop watching these people so much, because here I think I got methods, and my methods wasn't panning out as such.
But I've had some hand pays. Don't play with me.
Shoot.
I've had some. Hey, Albert. Albert Murray is born and raised in Las Vegas, too. I bet he has a story, and if you want to tell it, it's 702-551-5261. Oh, he's professional. We done turned food into money.
Oh, he's a professional gambler?
Albert, we want to talk to you.
We want to talk to you. Call on him. We need to understand
There's a
the mind
specific
of
question.
a professional.
And I want to ask, is it true, because they've told me that when you stop the machine and you get a bonus or you get a good line pay, that it was going to stop there anyway?
I've heard that
Talk
too.
to me, Albert. So, anyway, this weekend we did the Foodie Fest.
Yes, we
Shout
did.
out to our winners and our listeners and everybody who attempted to participate in the drawing, but Miss Irene Osborne won.
Yes, she did.
And she did come hang out in the VIP circle.
Yes, she did.
She did.
Came and hang out and did her thing.
She hung out and did her thing. She did. So I'm going to take it from the top. We're going to take it from the top.
Okay. All right. We'll go there.
So day one, and we do have lots of pictures you can see. You can find pictures and reels and things at J9 Roberts on Facebook and Instagram. Mm-hmm. And you can
I have some.
find Jesse.
Yeah, I have them on TikTok. I have them all over the place, but I will put them on Facebook and back on Instagram. Because I had them as stories, and stories only last for a 24-hour period. So I want to make them more permanent for you guys. Because, we took some good pictures.
We really did.
We actually talked to some good people.
We really did.
We had some good food. We had some interesting food. Yeah, it was a nice experience. It was packed too.
Yeah,
it was a very nice turnout because there was a lot going on in Vegas this weekend. A lot.
It was a lot. There was the concert, the iHeartRadio was going on. Mm-hmm. There were a couple other festivals.
Yeah, there were a couple other festivals going on too as well. So
it was a great turnout in consideration. And I heard mixed reviews on the location, which was Craig Ranch Park.
Okay.
But for the most part, I think people appreciated being able to leave the park and still leave the function and still be able to play around in the park with the kids and the ducks and the duck ponds and stuff like that. Craig Ranch is a wonderful park.
It is really nice. It was dusty. Man, it was dusty.
To say the least. I had the worst allergies I've had in a while, and I think it kind of affected my attitude a little bit. Well, it's difficult waging war against Las Vegas winds and dust storms. Mm-hmm. We are in the desert, and it was dusty. So I wonder why they didn't set up on the grass. So, although many of the vendors were on the grass.
A lot of them were on the grass.
Access was going through the dirt.
Yes.
From the vendor's point of view.
Right.
And then they had the kids in the rocks and gravel. I was like, ooh.
That's funny.
Right? So, anyway, we got there. We set up, thanks to Icarice.
Yes, we did.
The location wasn't all that great because it was very noisy, so we weren't able to broadcast
we were
live.
Right next to the stage, and it was noisy the entire time, so we weren't able to interview people at our station.
Correct. Which, worked out just fine because we went to their stations, and some of the participants are actually going to be coming on the show. We have made great contacts.
Good.
So although I can't see the number, I'll try. Okay, well, keep listening, Albert. But just to shout out to our listeners who want to call in, 702-551-5261. That's 702-551-5261. I don't know if the lines are busy, but anybody, you are welcome to call in and share with us. If you, in fact, attended the festival, we'd love to hear from you and
Right.
who you thought should win or what your experience was. So that was day one. Day one, we went and tried a few places, and my favorite spot at that moment, Friday, was Vito's Tacos.
Was Vito's Tacos okay? Yeah, they were good. Vito is really serious about his business.
Baby.
He is extremely driven and serious about his business and the quality of his food.
Yeah, I'm
which
not
is
mad.
very appreciated. The quality of his food, his tacos. We tried the braised beef taco. Was it braised
It was
or braised pork?
no, it was beef
It was
because we
beef?
don't do
Okay,
pork.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. It was beef, and it was the queso.
The queso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was good.
That was his.
Signature?
That was his signature.
That's his
dish.
signature. It was good.
So I recommended that to everybody who was coming through.
Hmm
Um,
He
and
came in
then-
third place.
And to say that, right? So we want to show you guys videos, but we're actually going to wait till next episode because we're going to have some of the key players are going to chime in, and then we'll be able to we'll get that part together. So that was day one. Day two was birthday. So that was
your birthday.
It was
So-
my birthday celebration. I never thought I'd be spending at a foodie fest, but I wasn't mad. I was not mad at all, because we took some shots. If you go follow day two, so
Shots.
as we progress, we get there at about 4:45. We get to our little station area. You know, we kind of set up a little bit of what we have, and then we go out because now we're going out to go try some of the other food. We're going to interview a couple of other vendors. It's funny because the places that we spotlight were the places that won. So we had spotlight, and we had eyeballed Milkshake Wasted.
Yeah, let's get Milkshake Wasted. I knew I wanted to try them immediately. If you saw their milkshakes, and we will be posting pictures, they were gorgeous and delicious.
Yes, they were.
But I'm lactose intolerant, so I had to go easy on them. But it was definitely well worth it.
It was well worth it.
And their win was definitely well worth it. I believe they came in first place from the sweets, from the sweet
You
treats.
are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very nicely put on. And
Yes.
10 years it shows it. This
Yes.
was year number 10 for the Foodie Festival.
Okay.
And then, so we highlight them. We came back and saw them after they won. But this is what did it for me. This is my birthday. My girls came. My grandkids came. So I was so glad to see them. A lot of people from what I understand from Hot 702 came as well. So, you know, a lovely turnout from the radio station's perspective. But my granddaughter wasn't feeling well. Now she's 13 years old, and in the middle of nowhere, her knees buckle.
Yeah,
So
they
she
sure
just
did.
about passes out. Luckily, her dad was there. He caught her. And so it was just a little disturbing for me because
Yeah, that was more than disturbing.
yeah, my nerves were bad. I never got
Yeah.
it together after that. So let's get it together was trying to. I was rehearsing that in my heart. So I went and got EMT. Shout out to the emergency team that hung out at the park all 3 days. Because I went to go get the EMTs. They came and checked on her. They did her blood pressure. They did all the significant tests that needed to be done. And it appeared that she was dehydrated. Now, Saturday was 100 degrees. Easy.
Right.
So it could have been a combination of being in the park, could have been a combination of just not feeling well earlier in the day or just being a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poor thing.
Yeah, so they
That
kept,
was pretty.
they carried her out. Well, the ambulance didn't, the EMT didn't, but her parents took her on home, and needless to say, she is doing fine.
Good.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. My nerves were shook. So when I got back over to our booth, guess what the team did?
What?
They got us shots. shot. I was all good after that. So yeah, we carried on. Saturday night, we had a few more dishes, and we seen a couple other people's food. Took pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we stopped at quite a few places Saturday. So I think we went to Just Jerk. That one,
Let me holler.
They didn't place.
As they probably shouldn't.
Okay, well,
I'm going to keep it real.
yeah, she had chicken Cajun. No, the jerk chicken. I had the jerk shrimp with plantain and rice and peas.
Now, let's get into it. So, yeah, that's right. I had the rice and peas. I had the chicken and the plantain, the plantains. Now, this is my first time having Just Jerk.
Right.
My daughter told me she felt like it wasn't that great for the amount of food that you get for the cost.
I will agree with her. For the amount of food that you get, which is little, very little, because my plate was pretty much $20 and some change. And you get very little food. The shrimp were good. The shrimp were seasoned good, but then they put this mayonnaise aioli sauce, and I could taste the mayonnaise in the sauce. That is always a horrible turnoff for me. If you're gonna add mayonnaise to something, I shouldn't be able to taste your mayonnaise, because no one likes to taste. Well, I don't like to taste the mayonnaise.
And I'd have to say most people don't when it is a sauce.
Yeah.
Now, if you were putting mayonnaise on my burger and you wanted to slap that on, and I might be okay with that.
Right.
If you made some little, whatever, but
Right.
please don't let me taste the mayonnaise in your sauce.
Right. I agree.
It's too dominant. But that ain't what did it for me.
Right.
What did it for me was on my chicken. Now, mind you, I'm in this emergency with my granddaughter. So I'm trying to eat while it's still warm. And I had ordered another granddaughter the same order. I get down to my chicken thigh, which I'm not a fan of chicken thighs. I'm just not a fan of dark meat.
Mm-hmm.
And down to the bone, because the tasting is as if they, it wasn't baked, it wasn't braised, it was roasted. Roasted. It was
Never heard of that word, honey, but okay. We can make up words as we go.
That's what that thing just about was, because it was not done all the way to the bone. And that's a problem.
Yeah, and chicken. I gotta be 100% sure of my chicken pieces. And if you see pink close to the bone, I don't care. That is a huge turnoff. It's gonna hit the garbage. Because I'll be scared.
So part of me wanted to take it back. But I didn't.
Okay.
I dealt with the family emergency, but then I already had an order in with the granddaughter, so I kind of stood there and I wanted to see how her chicken turned out, and her mom said it turned out fine.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was just the pieces I got, but there were 2 pieces. So
okay.
you got 3 pieces. They were small. You got a chicken leg, a chicken thigh. It might have been 2 chicken thighs. Both the chicken leg and the chicken thighs were a little too pink at the core to me. So if I wanted to suck the bone, it wasn't going to happen.
No.
So that turned me off.
Yeah.
And so I get why they didn't win. Because if any other patrons received any meat that looked like that,
Right.
then they wouldn't have voted.
Right. They
So-
wouldn't have voted for him.
That was Just Jerk. Now, we'd like to have them on the show. We'd like to have them follow up. We do have a business card. I will reach out, and I will tell them my experience.
Okay.
I'm not playing with them. They need to know. So what were the other places that
We
stopped
also
at?
went to Raider Claw. I think that was the first day, though. We tried Raider Claw.
That was day number 1.
And they specialize in lobster dishes, and that's their signature, lobster dishes. And so he gave us a sample of some loaded fries, and caramel cake.
That's correct.
The loaded fries, I will say, I participate in THC. I smoke, I get the munchies. Sometimes I want some real messy stuff, but yeah, I couldn't do that one. It was a little too greasy for me and heavy. Sometimes you're putting too much stuff on your fries, and even if it's a lot of stuff, I don't want to deal with grease and the heaviness of that type of stuff. So
the fries are deep fried, so you kind of come to expect the grease a little bit.
It was all that other stuff.
No, it was all that other stuff. You are correct. So we shared it. He gave us a big portion.
A big portion.
We got back to the table and we started eating. And immediately I'm like, this is a little greasy.
Too heavy.
A little heavily greased. I mean, I know he freshly made it. He was excited. Mm-hmm. And let me just say, both of these places are Black owned.
Yeah, they are.
So I'm not coming down in a way that if it were anybody else, I would say the same thing. And but I just happened to mention because I still want to patronize them. Mm-hmm. I still want to give them opportunities, as I would it wouldn't have mattered. But these are my Black-owned people who are striving to do well in the community, and you can find them on IG as we list their names. You can find their pictures. That Raider Claw has excellent, beautiful pictures. And my challenge to him was, I hope it tastes as good as the pictures look. That dish did not. It didn't do it for me.
Right.
And the reason it didn't do it was because of the heavy grease. So I saved some. My daughter came, the baby girl, and I said, hey, try it out. And on her first bite, she said she felt grease gushing.
That's just, we can't do that, folks. And we up here trying to eat healthy. And we experimented because we're at a foodie fest. And you're going to have a lot of carnival type food there. But we just, come on, my
That
people.
one fell short. And, when it comes to the grease, guys, we are, you got to balance that thing out.
You do have to.
You know what I'm saying? So that one we passed by, but the owner and chef said he's coming on the show. So we're going to hold him to that. I'm going to hold him to the grease factor, especially knowing that he's feeding our people.
Right. Because the food is good. It could technically be extremely good.
I'd like to try something else.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. It just, that specific thing was too heavy for our palate. Mm-hmm. That's all.
And I noticed a lot of the vendors had a bunch of stuffed stuff. So fries with a bunch of stuff topped on, on top of it. And so that was that. We'd like to have the Raider Claw on the show. He can speak for himself.
Right.
He was great. Personality was great. Very friendly.
Very.
The cake.
How was the cake? I didn't taste the cake. I'm not a fan of caramel.
I'm not necessarily either. That's my kids' thing.
Okay.
Taylor and Whitney they like the caramel cake. But it was a little too sweet for me, but a caramel person would have loved it. It was moist.
Okay.
And to be honest, it tasted like store-bought. So you almost can't go wrong. Because it just felt like a pound cake with some caramel on top.
Ooh-wee.
So I'm a little harsh.
Yeah, because I'm like, you gonna, how y'all gonna clean that up when that man show up in the studio?
I won't clean it up. I'll just let him. What he did say, and here's what we'll hold him to, is that he will bring some dishes to the radio, and if we and to all of our associates, he would have us here enough for everybody to try some of his dishes. So we're going to hook that up for the month of October. He is down.
Okay.
And then we had one of the winners' burgers.
Yes. Bougie Burger came in second for the best of your city.
Calling out to my son-in-law because he goes out of his way to buy Wagyu.
Yes. Everybody. That's the buzzword right now. Wagyu beef is the buzz. It's hot on the streets. Everybody wants Wagyu beef. And this one, Bougie Burger, I had a nice long talk with him. They actually have a farm-to-table setup. They are affiliated with the farm that actually grows the beef. He knows what goes into his cows. He knows he's involved that heavily in the beef that he serves people, and to me that is priceless. He's only been in business 6 months?
That was the killer.
Right.
I don't even think it was 6 months. Honey.
He
I
said
think
his
he
truck
said
was
6 weeks.
He did?
It was like so new.
It was very new.
6 months isn't new. It's getting there.
He could have said
was 6 weeks.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure. But we will solidify that. However, it is Bougie Burger.
Bougie Burger. Absolutely. I did put a reel on Instagram up of them for sure.
So find them, Instagram. Again, we're going to bring all the winners next week. So we had the Wagyu Backyard Boogie, honey.
Backyard Boogie had a little pepper on it, and then we had the Parmesan fries.
Yeah, I think they were Parmesan and something else. They truffle.
Parmesan and truffle fries.
They were truffle fries.
Okay.
Wasn't to write home with the fries, but that burger was everything, as Wagyu should. So we talked last week about beef. We didn't talk about Wagyu.
Right.
Because it's in a class of its own.
Yes,
and the reason it's a class of its own is because it's a breed. It's a breed of cow. So if you are, restraining yourself from meat, because we don't really do beef. I don't really do as much beef anymore. It's a lot of turkey, and I would recommend to my black people that you use some alternatives. And I don't want to hear that shit about, I eat turkey. It don't taste right. It tastes too hard to season. You can make everything that you make in ground beef with ground turkey.
Absolutely.
And you can throw in some ground chicken if you need a little bit more flavor, or you feel like you just season it a little more.
Just season it more. It works.
And I
wonders.
can't stand. Girl, my daddy used to be like, "Well, what you cook it with?" I made a lasagna. Oh, it's turkey meat. Oh, I ain't eating that. It ain't. I'm like, you ain't even gave it a shot.
Yeah, I don't understand. I love turkey meat. Just season it better.
That's right.
Season it. Give it a little extra love, and it will give you some back.
Yes. Less fat. Far less fat.
Far less fat.
So people choose Wagyu because it's grain fed. It's a breed of a cow that is breeded with, its own. And the owner of Bougie Burger takes his time to stay involved, hands-on
with the
farm. Even though he's not a part of, hey, Mom, look, yeah, she loves turkey. Mom was eating so much healthier than we were long before we were. Right. So shout out to our moms. But yeah, I was impressed with the burger. Yep. I like the sauce. Tried to send you guys a video, but I have to compose it a little differently because I did a reel. You can see the winners on my reel, J9 Roberts on Facebook, and so I had the milkshake. I had an Oreo milkshake.
From Let's Get Milkshake Wasted. That Oreo milkshake was everything.
Yep, and my stomach said so.
Yep, I only took a sip. I tasted all that ice cream goodness and was like, nah, not today.
Not today. Well, I went a little further, and it cost me. But
you did.
But that's okay.
You did, huh?
That's okay. I have no regrets. That's how I live my life, with no regrets.
No regrets. Oh, you are a risk taker for sure.
Let me think. Was there anything else that we left there with? I know I had my fill of Twisted Lemon, which is a lemonade stand.
Yeah, let me give them a shout out, please.
Do.
Because when your grandbaby passed out, or she had her incident where the EMTs were tending to her, the gentleman from Twisted Lemon came over and asked was she okay, if she needed anything, and we said, well, maybe she's a little dehydrated. He ran back and got her a lemonade and just gave it to her and said, here, have her take this. And I was like, what? That is so sweet of him. And he was the only vendor that inquired about how she was doing and made sure that she was okay. So I made sure I went and gave him kudos for the effort and what he did. And I gave him also acknowledgement for them placing as a winner under the sweet treat best of your city vote.
Let me tell you, that was the longest line.
Yes, the entire time.
And I know people needed they needed to hydrate, but there was a bonus that if you got with the cup, you got 50% off. So it was originally $10, but you get a $5 32-ounce cup of lemonade, and you could get these different flavors.
And it was delicious. That lemonade
Cucumber,
is really
watermelon.
good. Really good.
Yeah, it was. It was on point. So
And not
shout out
overly
to him
sweet.
because you know what? I drank that lemonade.
You did. You drank the baby's lemonade. I'm so done with you.
I didn't drink it all.
You didn't drink
I just
it
took a
all.
sip, and then I gave it to her mama, and her mama drank it.
Oh my God, that poor baby. She didn't need. I guess she didn't need that sugar anyway. But it wasn't even that sweet, and I don't like overly
wasn't
sweet
that sweet.
drinks. And that was perfect for me because I steer away from lemonade because normally facilities make stuff way too sweet
That's
for me.
correct.
And
Yeah.
not him. His stuff
Yeah.
is on point.
It is.
Whatever they doing, keep doing it.
That's right. So I think they are a pop-up vendor
They are a pop-up
that shows up at most all food festivals, and you can find them at our local farmers markets.
Okay. Yes.
They show up at the farmers market. So that's Twisted Lemons. Is it Twisted Lemonade?
Twisted Lemonade.
Yeah. And shout out to them.
Shout out to them because they were. I appreciated their show of concern.
Some people are naturally compassionate, and what he did was truly appreciated. It
Yes,
really
it was. Yes,
It was.
Mom.
I
It
ran and found a
absolutely
seat
was.
because she was sitting on the ground, leaning up against her dad. So I went and ran and found her a chair and sat her down. That was pretty rough for me because that's
was
my baby, unexpected. She's normally pretty healthy, but I tell you, when I look back at the video, because I did a little video just to show the interruption of the day. I'm like, well, why her pants so tight around her waist? I'm like, oh Lord, she can't breathe. That's why the little girl fell out.
I did recall you saying something like that.
Unzip her pants a smidgen. I don't know how she did it, but she bone thin like I am. So I'm
Maybe
just
they were
going.
stretchy. Sometimes stretchy jeans they look like they don't have no
Girl,
give.
that looked like the metal in the attachment, the button part looked like it was in her belly button. So
She built just
whatever.
like you, tall and slim. She is your twin. Out of all your grandbabies, she is physically your twin.
I suppose.
You
So-
suppose. It's true. It's true.
So to wrap that up, so that was day 2. Day 3, obviously we showed you who the winners were, the different foods we had eaten. We met a couple other people. There's a wellness lady that we want to have on who is also a young entrepreneur, cannabis wellness owner. So we will have her on the show. She
Yes.
is excited about coming to speak
Good.
with us.
Exactly.
So we met a lot of people.
Very good.
We had a good time. I wouldn't have spent it any other way now that I have recapped.
Yeah,
And-
the overall, did we mention the overall winner?
So the overall winner was,
Anecdote.
Anecdote.
Asian Pacific food.
that is correct. Now, we did not get to have their food because their line was pretty long.
I did get to taste some of it because
Oh, yeah, somebody ordered it.
best of
Your city.
the best of your city had a sample because what they did is they went around and then they told everybody they placed. Everybody who placed as a winner, they told them that they placed. They just didn't tell them what level they placed at, if they were first, second, or third. But to come to the booth when they did the announcements, come to the stage
Yeah, that
when
was
they
sweet.
did their announcements.
That was
And
sweet.
Anecdote won, and they make like these salmon bombs. I think it was tuna. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. It was
Oh.
like,
I missed out.
Yeah.
Now, listen, it's Antidote LV. They are on IG and Facebook. Antidote LV. So,
were good.
no, really.
their food was really good. I was impressed.
I'm
Yeah.
disturbed. I would have loved to have tried that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, she brought back a plate and gave it to her co-host, and he was like, "Yeah, try this," and I was like, "Sure, I will."
No, I
He was
will.
like, "They placed number 1," and I was like, "Oh, I can see why." Now that was that food would have been exactly what we needed. That is along the lines of how we should be eating. That fish, that freshness. It wasn't heavy, but it was delicious, and it was
Okay.
loaded with all kind of flavor. And
Okay. I missed out. No problem. But we will be visiting
yes, we
these
will.
people.
Absolutely.
There were a ton of other vendors. There were vendors that did not have food, but they were offering other things, shirts and sports memorabilia. Some people had, there was a, I'm trying to think of the cake place because that was Black owned. And what I liked about them was they had samples of the cake.
They had samples. She had samples of her cakes or her cupcakes and they were really good. Her samples were really good, and she was a new business as well, and Black-owned bakery. And we do need her name. Like, I think I got a card from her. I just told you I was in bed all day. I'm tired.
I think we have a card as well. And so, but we're going to we're going to take this a step further because the best of your city wants to do a wrap up with us next week, along with her partner, because they're also going to be talking about Oktoberfest and some other things that are coming our way. So it was great.
Yes,
it really was. It was a great experience.
Yes,
I'm glad that the radio station partnered with the best of your city. Hot 702.5 is phenomenal in that way. And where you going, Beth? What's happening? How you doing?
You going to Beth? You coming to the next Foodie Fest?
Oktoberfest? Yeah, just show up in Vegas. You know I got you. Can't wait to go next month. Okay, yes. Well,
okay.
You know, food is on the menu. Oh, the Oktoberfest. Yeah, I think it's the first weekend in. Well, this is the first weekend, so that would be the second weekend in October.
Really? It's the second weekend of October?
Well, this is the first.
Yeah.
So it's like October 5th.
Oh, okay.
5th through the 8th or something like that.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you. So, so that was that. That was the Foodie Fest. We had a blast. I'm glad that we were able to attend, like 7th, I said.
8th, 9th. Okay.
Something like that.
Thank you, Beth.
So, Dieter's interested. Well, you know, get Dieter on out here. I know he likes to eat. Listen, speaking of Dieter, that's my brother-in-law and that's my sister. Shout out to Miss Willette Jordan. So, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Look at her.
Beth said it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Okay.
Well, get on out here, girl.
Right.
Shout out to the listeners. Listen, anybody listening right now that attended the Foodie Fest or wants to be a part of this next segment, we've got a few minutes left, 702-551-5261. Join us live right now on Hot 702.5 FM. If you're listening in your car, if you're listening on the app, call us.
Call us.
Chit-chat.
We want to know about your experience, how you felt about it. What did you taste that stuck with you? And I know you was there, Taylor.
And yes, Oktoberfest is here in Las Vegas. Apparently, I think it's going to be like beers and spirits and things. So there'll be some food, but I think it's mainly the beer and wine and spirits.
Them spirits, you know how some people turn on when them spirits get in their system. You got to be careful. Wow, these folks.
So we're going to spend the last few minutes talking a little bit about food as a comfort. We're going to talk real quick about some of the things that will help you. I've been looking heavily into making sure I keep minerals on deck and what they mean, because we've been trying to eat a little better. Taylor said not for long enough. And I didn't like the beef tacos, just the chicken.
Okay.
Oh. So that was Vito's. I think she went to Vito's as well.
Oh, okay.
Well, Lexi said she loved hers, honey. She took them home and put them in the
Ninja Foodie.
Yeah.
Hot air.
Mm-hmm. What? Hot air what?
The hot air fryer. And I said the Ninja Foodie because I have one. Because
you have it, right. Make it clear. So, yeah, she went home and put it in. She said it was crispy and it was good. So, I guess it's just a matter. Taylor's a foodie, and she goes to different places for Mexican food, because I swear they daddy is part Mexican. Speaking of, let me say this before.
She said, not the Ninja. So,
my daughters, all three, and my bonus daughter, my niece, Candace, all four are heading to California this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So everybody leaves tomorrow.
Y'all Cali bound. I'm sending peace, love, and light with y'all.
Absolutely. Safe travels.
Safe travels, for sure.
I really send prayers, loves, and hugs, because they're going to be meeting with their dad, who was sort of deadbeat. I don't think there's a sort of to it. So I think there's going to be some healing going on. So some closure maybe even going on. So shout out to my daughters as they travel. They will all be on planes. So I'm going to have a little anxiety because that's my whole little tribe in one little area. But shout out to the kids. So Mama said, don't forget about probiotics and immunity support because we are there. Listen, people, we are going very quickly into the flu season.
Talk about it.
And it's important to keep your immunization at the highest that you possibly can with the foods that you eat, all your leafy greens, and your veggies and your what am I thinking? I'm thinking fruits, your seeded fruits. Keep yourself in good health.
I absolutely 1,000% agree because you'll be able to get past anything if you put your body in the right environment. Your body can recover from anything in the proper environment. So you can't keep eating crap thinking, oh, well, I don't feel good because you're eating crap. So
right.
We've said that 1,000 times. I think that was one of the first things we mentioned when we first started. But I've been taking Taylor's sea moss daily, straight out the jar.
Tay's Natural Vibes. She is on Instagram. She sells those hundreds and hundreds of minerals that we don't get. Yeah. She is definitely hit her up. Tay's Natural Vibes.
Yeah.
VYBEZ.
That sea moss is bomb.
And my sister said daughters and their fathers, kids heroes, adult zeros, sadly sometimes. Girl, we rapping? Wow. Are we rapping?
Oh, wow.
Oh, daughters and their fathers, kids heroes. Yeah, I know. And their dad was a zero. I give him kudos for the DNA. Okay. So, listen, calcium, copper, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, selenium, zinc. You can find these things in milk and kale, which I don't really need the milk. We don't need the milk, but for calcium, that's for the younger people. But your nuts and your dried beans, your leafy veggies, they carry copper, which is good for vitamin C, elastin, and red blood cells. So I hope you guys are listening.
Yes.
Obviously, your iron is found in your dried beans, your whole grains, your leafy greens. And that helps with hemoglobin, which is very important for muscles, and it supplies oxygen to your cells. So we need all these things to work together to help us get through this season and for longevity of life and health. And that's where we are. We're entering into a hibernation season.
Yes, we are. So, yes, we're going to give you some good food to help you transition into this season.
And shop at different stores.
Yes.
Supply and demand is still an issue in our supermarkets.
Clearly.
So a lot of shelves are still empty of some of the products you really like or maybe name brands you like. Shop at different stores. Go ahead and shop at your Sprouts and your Whole Foods and, get out of your comfort zone of your little local store sometimes and go to some of these other stores that have more of the things that we need.
And try some of these farmers markets too. I get eggs from the farmers market because in honey. Absolutely. Sorry. Eggs, because eggs have a long shelf life. They only don't have a long shelf life when they come out of the grocery store. But if you get your eggs from Farm Fresh to you, they can last you up to a year. They can sit in your refrigerator for up to a year and not go bad.
Can you believe that?
Right?
Try your farmer's market. And so the last one is the zinc that I touched on.
I love zinc.
So speaking of eggs, seafood, dairy, pumpkin seeds, we're in that time now. Go to Gilchrist Orchard.
Okay.
Go to the orchard, pick you a pumpkin.
Oh.
Clean that pumpkin out and stick them seeds in the oven.
Oh, that sounds...
And eat them just kind of suck on them, eat them as a snack.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things that you can do with the pumpkin. And so that helps with reproduction system. It aids in healing and metabolism and your enzymes. Huge.
Yes.
Right? So
I appreciate that.
Mom says, yes, get Taylor's Natural Vibes. Pineapple is the flavor.
That's yes, it is. That's the one I'm eating out of the jar every day. Every day. That's what is a part of my morning ritual daily.
Okay. So last but not least, we went and ate real quick at a restaurant on last night.
No, it was Tuesday.
Well, we went twice.
It
was Tuesday and then we went Thursday. Both for Mexican food. So last Thursday.
And Uno Mas at the Sahara.
Uno Mas.
And that, what are they called? I know that's the name of them. Uno Mas, tacos.
Something.
And spirits.
Tacos and spirits.
Uno Mas, tacos and spirits. And then we went to El Dorado restaurant, which, El Dorado Cantina restaurant and bar.
Get it, girl. Because I couldn't call either one.
Yes, we did. Uno Mas, I like their
Uno Mas was
food.
nice. It's sort of, now we're talking about the Sahara guys. You know, the one that changed its name 2-3 times, went from the Sahara to the something else and then back to the Sahara. Right there on Sahara and Las Vegas Boulevard. So we stumbled upon them. It was kind of like fast food, but it came out very authentic, hot, and ready to go.
Yeah. So you go to your table and you order. You gotta, you know how they have those little
the little
barcodes or whatever those little scan things are. You scan the menu, you order, because no one's gonna come to your table and ask you what you want.
You'll be sitting.
You'll be sitting there
because you gotta order your food and pay for it. And it is one of them get downs that's asking for a tip. But because if you're dining in, you can leave cash because we're not feeling this ask for tip before we get our food.
I can't feel that. Mm-mm. But the food, I will say, I enjoyed that night was good.
It was good.
And I took some leftovers home and ate them the next day, and they was just as good. And my mama, she was like, "Where you get them chips from?" I was like, "Uno Mas." She was like, she sat and ate all my. I think I took your chips. She got chips and salsa, and I took the ones she didn't finish, and I took them home. My mama killed them. She was like, "Oh, these was good."
Uno Mas, taco and spirits.
She was like, "They tasted fresh."
In the Sahara, right? I would give them a nice 3.5. Mm-hmm. Probably not so much a 4, only because the kiosk thing, and that doesn't make or break it per se.
That's right. We'll let no tip
before service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they into this thing now, honey, and they getting it.
And they are, because you be scared. You be like, damn, if I don't tip them, what's my food gonna come out looking like?
See, they're getting these kiosk things, these pay and order mobile, because they don't have enough workers. So we're looking at Chili style, we're looking at Red Robin style. We're looking at those types of, Fridays, those types of establishments having those kinds of ordering mechanisms on your table.
Yeah.
So the last spot was the El Cantina. The
El Dorado Cantina.
El Dorado Cantina. We like it because it was 24 hours.
It's open 24 hours. It's next to the Sapphire Strip Club. So if you pull up, and all you see is Sapphire, and you're wondering where's El Dorado, it's right next door. So just pull in the parking lot and park. And
food wasn't that great, honey, but if you go on a Tuesday, you're going to get...
Where, at Uno Mas or El Dorado?
El Dorado Cantina.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
There's a lot of hair flying around there. So our girl said that she had hair in her food. And, I don't care.
1942 shots, Taylor.
But it's the 1942 shots.
That's what got us there.
On Tuesday nights.
They was $10. They $10 now.
They're 10 now because they're too popular.
But they not worth $10.
Clutch your pearls, girl.
By the third shot, I think and you gonna see me say this 1,000 times over. That third shot was a sip. It was not a shot.
It wasn't even a sip, girl. I took my glass and went, and it just trickled on my tongue.
It was not even a whole shot.
So what they do is the more you order, the less you get. So you better sit at the bar if you want the best experience.
Yeah, and tell them to turn it up. You're doing
too
much.
Trivoli Village is much cleaner, and she enjoyed it. I knew that's where Taylor went.
Okay, Trivoli Village.
And that's the one that had the hair in the food. So
that's the one? Oh.
Listen, when you eat today in this day and age, you're taking a risk. Take a look at what you're eating. Take a look at who's serving. Take a look at who's cooking if you can. Mm-hmm. And be safe in these streets.
Be safe in these streets.
It is not always the experience you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And we went for the drinks.
We sure did.
It just so happened I got a real good taco salad that turned out really, really nice.
I like my shrimp tacos. So
with that being said, we appreciate all the listeners.
Yes,
we had quite a few family. My family joined. I am so proud of you guys.
Know.
And join us next week, same time, same place. 102.5 FM. Let's get it together with J9.
And Jazzy, sending peace, love, light, prosperity, and protection to you all this week.
See you next Thursday.